Oh shit. and welcome to week 4 of the Zoom Racing League. I'm your host, Buffalo Trace. Lots of action for you today around the 19 turns of Suzuka here in Japan, including special guest host later on. So moving on to the current constructors standings here as we get ready for qualifying. A commanding lead from Alpine. Looking at 173 points. They got the most wins, the most podiums, and it's been just a dominating performance for that Alpine team, followed by Ferrari, Red Bull, AlphaTauri, and the Alfa Romeo. So without further ado, with the driver standings, I'll send it over to special guest host PBJ. PBJ, welcome back to F1, man. What is on your
Buffalo,
mind with
dude, I'm
D2?
so happy to be here. So happy to be here. So happy to be back. It's Suzuka is one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. Never got a chance to actually run it in the league, but I'm super stoked to be here with you guys tonight. Driver standing wise, D2, man, Ludwig Johan is just running away with this. 3 races, 3 wins. Let's see if he can go 4 for 4 today. Second place down is Sid, who has 35 points behind, earning 70 points, but Ethan Patel right on his rear end, 2 points behind him. So right now it's still early in the season. It's anybody's race. But man, Johan is putting on a clinic for D2.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he's miles away of it here, and we'll get into qualifying here in a second. I'm really excited to see what Johannes can get going here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Looks like the track is nice and dry today. We don't have any telemetry to keep up with, what the weather may be, but it does look kind of misty out there, so rain may be a factor. Everyone's coming out on soft tires for qualifying. Looks like the first car out of the pits is going to be Ethan Patel, followed right behind by Johan. So your top 2 championship drivers, first 2 on track.
Real quick, it does look a little bit overcast here. We're on with Johannes Ludwig right now, and I'm wondering if he's trying to get a quick soft tire run here. Maybe it'll rain soon. Yeah, we're kind of flying blind, like you said, with the weather. So, hey, we'll see how he takes it around this tricky track here we have today.
So everybody's going to do their out laps. Of course, qualifying is short qualifying for this race. Just one session to set the grid for the Grand Prix. We got 16 and a half minutes left in the session, so everyone's going to go out and do their hot lap, or get their out laps, put a banker on the board. Hopefully not bend the car in the process, but the track will rubber in as the session progresses, which will let the times come down a little bit quicker and quicker as we go on. So last car on track usually has the best track to run the lap, and therefore best chance to set the fastest time.
Best chance, yeah. Alpine's out first though, and I wonder if they're trying to get something of a little toe set up here. They're kind of together 1-2. Also, the AlphaTauris with Cole and reserve driver Spunini filling in for the AlphaTauri. He's out of the broadcast booth. He joined me last week, but he's on the racetrack today. We'll see what kind of pace he has with these D2 guys.
Yeah, he finished second in the D3 race about an hour ago, I believe. So he has got he's definitely warmed up to say the least, and maybe put on a good performance here tonight too in D2.
Yeah, he does certainly have the pace. We're on with Ethan Patel. Unfortunately, it looks like he invalidated before he started. We weren't on. Maybe he hit something weird in the Casio triangle and set that red lap ahead of time, so he'll have to go around again. But Johannes, meanwhile, is on the first real heater then of the field. Love how he takes those S's in fifth gear the whole time, right? And just kind of balancing it. I found this a lot trickier than Coda, and just to see these guys master it is quite cool.
It's a classic calendar. It's a classic track on the calendar, right? I mean, it hasn't. It's funny to believe this track hasn't actually been around that long. I believe. I don't have it in front of me. I think it came on the calendar maybe in the early 90s, so it feels like it's been around forever.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, truthfully is 30 years now. But it's a great track. It's one of the old school tracks. It's kind of narrow. It's you got stuff on both sides of the tracks. The runoffs aren't huge. You got grass and gravel traps and all the rest. So great driver circuit. Usually pretty popular track with the drivers, and the crossover is pretty cool too, huh?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, there was that argument. Is it clockwise or is it counterclockwise, right?
Yes.
Yes is the answer, right? Johannes goes through the final chicane. We'll see what kind of time he puts up. Might be on pace for like a 128, 129 something.
129.3.
129.3. And I expect to see maybe something close to the 120, mid 127s here as we see these times improve as Josh Barnsley in the Alfa Romeo puts in a 130. We're seeing some more times enter the board here.
NBA did a 29.9. I was riding with Ethan Patel as he started his second lap here. He boarded the first lap with the invalidation. He had a bad exit coming out of the turn 18 there, the final corner leading onto the front straightaway. A little bit of wheel spin, maybe cost him a little bit of time down the front straightaway, and he just goes off in turn 9, the second Degna curve. So Ethan Patel is struggling a little bit here on his qualifying run.
Breaking point can be a little tricky there too, because you cut the previous corner so much, right? But you can't cut that one as much, and it looks like he went a little deep there and couldn't get it. So he's coming into the into Spoon. Tricky dual left-handers, kind of try to dual apex it, right? And he does that very clean, keeps it tidy there. A little bit of a slow exit here as he goes onto the straight. So he'll try to get. Oh, Hudson Poole, reserve driver, just puts in a 128.4. Now, he's got pace. I don't know if you've seen him yet, PBJ, but he's kind of taking the division by storm.
But I tell you what, a full second over Johan there. Pretty impressive for his first lap out on the board. That's some serious pace. Beamer NG clocking in with a 29.4. Gets himself provisional P3. Looks like Ethan Patel is going to go around for another time here. I don't know how much fuel he's got in that car, but he's going to try it again here.
Josh Barnsley might be on another heater himself here in the Alfa Romeo going around turn 1. Ooh, a little bit on the grass there, and that'll kind of screw up his entry into the S's. And that's tricky too, because I feel like PBJ, if you screw one of these up, then you're kind of all discombobulated for the rest of them.
Oh, it's totally a rhythm section, right? Each turn sets the next turn up, and you're right. If you get one wheel in the wrong spot there, and you get your rhythm messed up and your flow off, it kills the entire sequence. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it really does. Coming up to the hairpin, a little bit wide right before it. Might be yellow. I know we just invalidated there going wide. Tough luck for Josh. He'll have to go back in and refuel.
So I'm still riding with Ethan here as he tries to get his first lap on the board. Well, he's got a 32.2 on there. I think he got that on one of the laps where he ran wide, but his first real heater on be his third lap on these soft tires. So not doing himself any favors with that, but he's still got 10 minutes left in the session to do something better. Going through 130R, which is the turn's kind of been neutered over the years, but man, that corner is still pretty awesome, especially when you're going side by side with somebody.
Yeah, well, he did set a purple sector too by I think over a couple seconds there, and he's 2.2 seconds ahead now. So he just brought up back to the middle of the pack.
Yeah, 130.0. He's probably going to want to do a little better than that. But it is a banker lap. He's got plenty of time to get back to the pits, do something a little bit better next time around.
Yeah. Cole looks like he's probably an in lap, a little bit slow there. See, one of the Alpines is out again. Oh, that's still Ethan Patel. He'll be coming in too. So as far as heaters, it looks like the Haas one just went out for an out lap. That's NBA. Now we might have a yellow with the Mercedes over there.
Everybody's cycling around trying to get some heat in their tires and
Yep.
go for a second run here. It's like NVA is on an out lap, like you said. Looks like the Aston Martin of Alex Duarte, if I'm pronouncing that right, is going to start a flyer here.
I think so, yeah. I think that...
Actually finish a flyer.
Right, finished it, yeah. So 130.5. That's good for P12. In mediums, that's a pretty good showing.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy. Go to the medium tires because, we've seen the guys in the D3 race. They started on softs, they went to mediums, and they made that work. So maybe the inverse strategy here, if you start on the medium tire, maybe a little longer run. We're getting some reports from the garage there, from the paddock. Sorry, I got NASCAR on the brain this weekend. Get some reports from the paddock this weekend that there's no rain in the forecast, overcast, low chance of rain. So maybe the medium tire, if he's thinking there's going to be rain in the race, medium tire gets him a little more, flexibility with the strategy there.
Yeah, it could. We saw, I know a lot of teams are going back and forth between one stop and two stop, and we saw a couple drivers try the two stop in D3, and there just wasn't enough laps to make up the time. And we saw, I believe the entire podium was all on one stops, soft to medium, if I recall correctly. So one stop is powerful here, but you got to manage those tires. It's not as heavy on them as Brazil, but they can take a beating.
But it's to make the two-stop work, Buffalo. I think you really got to have a track where you can do overtakes as well, and this is a track where, I mean, overtaking is possible, but only on a couple places on the track can you safely kind of plan and execute an overtake with the help of DRS. Without that, the two-stop, you're likely to get stuck behind traffic, burn the tires up in the dirty air. So if it were me, I'd be looking for that one-stop strategy, try to make that work the best I possibly could.
Yeah, that's a great point because even that DRS area, PBJ, is short. I mean, and then you got to get a really good exit, right? Coming out of 19.
Exactly.
In order to make that relevant.
Yeah, you've got some tracks where you've got a huge DRS zone. Oh, looks like NVA is going to get held up a little bit by Cole Cummings here.
Ooh.
Oh, and I don't think he liked that very much. Yeah, Cole was kind of running the racing line there, and I think it kind of killed NVA's lap right there. So he's still up in Sector 2, though, but only up by 2 thousandths. So let's see if he can have a killer chicane here, finish his lap. But, yeah, to kind of finish my point on the DRS, some tracks you've got long straightaways, and the DRS kind of feels overpowered. This is not one of those tracks. This is a track where I feel like they got the DRS just right, because if you have a good exit out of turn 18, you get on the front straightaway, it puts you side by side with the car going into turn 1, as opposed to like 3 car lengths ahead. So overtaking is definitely a challenge. You got to use DRS to do it. So yeah, it makes an exciting race to watch, though.
Yeah, we're on with Nux right now, and unfortunately she just invalidated her hot lap, but she's, strong D3 driver. She's got great pace, fastest lap in Brazil last week, and reserving for Alpha in D2, and she's in P9 with a 1:30.0 right now. That's a very strong time. Just bumped to P10 as Hudson puts in a 1:28.4.
Yeah, Hudson's still sitting on that 28.4. Sid put in a 29.0. That put him P2 and bumped everybody else down the line a little bit. I'm watching Johan on a flyer right now. Ludwig coming out of the spoon curve, turn 14. He was up 2.5 tenths on his best lap so far. Let's see what he's going to have here. He's up 6 tenths. That's going to put him very close to pole sitter time. Let's see if he can have a great chicane here. First apex looks clean. Second apex looks really good. Nice clean exit onto the front straightaway. Keeps it nice and tight against the wall. And he does a 28.6. That's a tenth and a half slower. Not quite fast enough, but he's closer. Got enough time for another run, I think, too.
Very strong lap for Johannes there. And I think we might see an identical front row to Brazil. I think it was like this. I think it was Hudson and Johannes, and they were going back at each other, the entire race. It was great action. And I'm wondering if they may have helped out Cole with a little bit with a tow. I'm not sure if he's behind Johannes, or is he on a hot lap? Oh, he's running out of fuel, so he must have just put in that 1:29.5.
I think looks like Mr. Sanduga down in 5th place in the Mercedes, maybe on a flyer here as he heads through the spoon curves, turns 13 and 14. Ooh. Gets a little wobbly over the outside curb there. That just killed that lap. We'll get a split time here as he goes through the second sector line here. But that definitely cost him some time. Yeah, he's out of it already. So, yeah, this one thing, this track is so fast through some of these corners, and if you get a little bit of a wobble, it's an automatic tenth or two each time.
It's tough. All these turns are so different too. So sometimes when you're making your setup, you have to, you're sacrificing the S's for a good run through spoon and exit out of spoon, right? I was wrong with Ethan Patel, and he just spins out, so he's sitting in P14 with a 1:30 flat and just spun out with only about 5 minutes left to go in the session. So he'll have to get back very quick. And those tires are hot after taking a ride in the gravel.
Yeah, he's got enough time to come in and put a fresh set on if he wants to, I believe. But yeah, I'm sure he wants a better time. Sit down in P14 right now is not where you want that Alpine to be, especially with your teammate up there in P2. But I'm sure he'll figure it out, I'm sure, and get a good time on the board here for we're all said and done.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I think he pulled one out of the hat in Brazil and was able to get up there kind of on his last lap. But we're on with Sleek right now, currently in P5, sitting at a 1:29.8.
Yeah, he's he's off the pace a little bit. I think he might be setting up for the next lap here.
Could be.
Yeah, some drivers, he's coming into the pits. Yeah, some drivers are great hot lappers. Some drivers are great racers. And you know, the hot lappers tend to come out of qualifying and start banging out hot laps, no problem at all. But for the rest of us, like, you know, I don't really consider myself a hot lapper at all. I like doing race runs, and it usually takes me until the last lap of qualifying to pull one out of the bag. So
Yeah.
We'll see who can jump up to the top here. Got 3.5 minutes to go, so about a minute and a half left to get out of the pits and start your out lap if you're going to get another time on the board. Right now we've only got about 7 cars on the track. Hudson set the first time there, and he's been sitting in the pits ever since there. So we'll see if he comes out and tries to defend. You know Johan's going to go for the hot lap here.
Absolutely, he's going to go for it. So Ethan Patel was 2 seconds above his time here, going
they're all
into
coming out.
Sector
A lot of cars
2.
coming out of the pits.
Yeah. Briefly, we were on with Beamer, and he had kind of spun out his out lap, so you know his tires are hot and gravelly, but he'll be on a heater here in a minute as we watch Ethan Patel go towards the hairpin. Little
Ethan's
wobble
off.
there.
Looks like he's out of it again, isn't he?
Yeah.
So at this point, I don't think he has enough time to get in, change tires, and come back out. So he might be trying to cool those tires off to make one more run here. Yeah, Johan's coming out of the pits. Ludwig going to come out and try to go for pole. Hudson Poole still sitting in the pits, though. Might wait until the last second to come out here. Not going to count Sid out of it either, because Sid is, you know, he's within striking distance of these boys as well.
Yeah, he is. He was always kind of a late qualifier, too. In these first few races, we've seen Sid kind of sit back in the pits for a while, and we saw him bust out that P3 almost midway through the session, right? That was his first lap. Ethan Patel a little bit off pace, and Beamer looking a little slow here in Sector 1, and he won't be able to improve on his time.
Ethan Patel just really pushing through turns 1 and 2. They had a big slide in between the 2 turns. Going to try to pull a lap out of the bag here.
He's already 2.5 seconds behind the pace, so it will be quite a challenge for that to be a relevant lap time, and it looks like he's going to have a little bit of a recovery race ahead of him.
Well, he can do it. We know
he
he can
did
do it.
make up
He's
some
coming
time
up.
there.
He's coming up on a slower car.
That's the Alfa Romeo of Nux. See if she can give him way. I don't know if she's on it. She might be on a heater herself.
Yeah. Yep, and that's the case. She doesn't really have to get out of the way, so.
She's got to run her own race,
Oh,
right? I mean,
man, yeah. Ethan's catching her right at the wrong part, but he'll get the slipstream from her down to 130R, but they're going to race each other. As Nux just aborts her lap.
Well, they got a little bit of a
spectacular fashion. So let's see what Ethan can do here coming into the chicane.
I was just thinking, if they went side by 130R, I mean, it would be hard for them to kind of make time. Right? There's really only one good line through that turn.
Yeah, Ethan really struggling for grip here. Did not improve. He's going to start down in the bottom half of the field. Let's see what Johan's doing. Ludwig running P2, heading up to the hairpin, about halfway through his lap. I missed the Sector 1 time.
Just under 2/10 quicker.
Okay, so that's what he needs for pole. As Poole starts his final lap as well, just crossed the start-finish line. So he's going to have one of the last laps, timed it just right. In fact, I think he will be. No, he won't be the last one, but he's going to. There's a Ferrari off for Hudson there.
Looks like Sid. We'll stay on with Johannes right now.
Yeah, let's see what Johan can do here.
Just at a purple Sector 2.
Using all the curbs. Get that power down nice and smooth. Heading down to the start-finish line. What can Ludwig do? He goes to pole with a 28.3. Let's see if Poole can respond in the Red Bull.
Less than a tenth.
Less than a tenth, that's right, into the hairpin. Keeps it nice and tight, runs it, uses all the road on the exit to get the best traction. Down through turn 12, back up the hill to turn 13. Do the 2 spoons here. Carry all that speed in, use all the curb on the exit, use all the curb back on the left.
Great run through spoon.
This is going to be tight. That Red Bull is just screaming down the back straightaway here. He's up 1/10.5. That's going to give him what he needs for pole. if he can keep it clean through the chicane,
Oh, looks a little bit slower than Johannes. I don't know.
this is going to be super tight across the line. It's Red Bull versus Alpine.
Wow.
And it's going to be
600ths.
Alpine at Suzuka. 6/100ths of a second separating first from second as Johan Ludwig looks to secure pole for the Japanese Grand Prix. What a qualifying session.
Unbelievable talent, those guys. I mean, they were able to run with it, but not to be overlooked. You look at Garrett Elder and Sid combined. You know, they're about Garrett Elder's only 4/10ths off of Hudson. And I think that in Brazil, those two are just kind of far and away the fastest guys. But I'm wondering if here maybe 3, 4, and 5 can make a run.
And tip of the cap to Garrett Elder there, kind of sneaking his way up to P3 in qualifying. We didn't see much of him throughout the session, but again, he put the lap in when it counted, and he's not that far off from our leaders. So if race pace if this pace is any indication of race pace, we're going to have a tight battle here at the top of the field.
Yeah, we definitely are. And I think something key to note, too, is Johannes' teammate, Ethan Patel, is way down there in P15, right? So
Yep.
let's take a look at where he's at real quick. Yeah, he's in P15. So I wonder if Hudson can help Garrett Elder keep pace with the top two because he's starting there on the second row.
You know, I think it's going to be a tight race. I think they're going to be, at least the first two are going to be in a really tight scrap here. And then you look at the gaps across the rest of the field. I mean, everyone's pretty tight. I mean, a big portion of the field there within a second of each other. But yeah, this is going to be an exciting race. I'm excited, man. I'm ready to go. Some Suzuka.
Some Suzuka. So you saw Ferrari 2 on row 2 and Sid. I think right behind him is Sleek in row 3. They had a solid performance in Brazil, but I think they're looking to get, closer to those top 3 row. It's just been blocked off by Alpine for the majority of the race, right? So it's been hard for other constructors to break into the podium.
Yeah, Alpine looks like, they're dominating so far this year. Johan's, putting in 3 wins, 3 races. It's definitely going to help the cause a little bit. Ethan also doing a great job. Got a P2 back in Silverstone, I think it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I see. They're doing a great job. Hudson Poole here trying to spoil the party in the Red Bull though. As we are set for our race, drivers are going to go out and do their warm-up lap here. I'm going to take a look at the tire detail here for a second, just trying to see who's doing what. Looks like almost everybody in the top 10 is going to be on the soft tire. Then Cole Cummings, Nux, Florida, and Drip all running the medium tire down there in the second half of the field. It's not a bad strategy, if you're going to be in traffic anyway, might as well take the longer tire, try to get a better strategy for the pit stop. We saw the drivers in D3 go till about the lap 11 mark for pit stops, starting on the soft tires. So based on that, one-stop race, you think?
Yeah, I think I think based on what they were all watching D3, I'm sure in the paddock, I'm sure they heard that the 2-stop was not very powerful here. And probably for the points you made up in qualifying, right? Was that there's just not a lot of opportunity to make your way up the field, even if you have more pace. So we'll definitely have to kind of keep an eye on the medium starters, right? I'm curious to see. Obviously, you want those soft tires towards the end with a lighter fuel load to last a bit longer. So they might be in a better position to have an easier one-stop.
Our drivers work their way around, trying to get some heat in the rubber. It's like a pretty tight field there for the first 15 or so cars. The last few drivers kind of spread out a little bit, but it's going to be Alpine, Johan Ludwig versus Red Bull, Hudson Poole. Second Red Bull, Garrett Elder there on the second row. Sid down in P4. Big Mama Frank up in P5. Sleek P6. Spunini P7. Mr. Sandoga P8. Beamer. Josh Barnsley rounding out your top 10. Let's go racing, boys.
Where we see Ethan Patel making a little bit of a gap here. Well, I should say a little bit. It's almost, it's about 10, 15 car lengths here, but I wonder if he's hoping he can cool down the front runner's tires just a little bit so he can get back up to speed in lap 1. A little bit of strategy.
Drivers, maybe. A little cheeky there, but you know, it's all good. Drivers working their way onto the grids. Everybody's finding their marks. As we get set to go in Suzuka. Final drivers coming on the field. We're going to get a resync of the race here. As we get ready to go.
Huh?
All right, here we go. Took longer than I planned, but here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And it's lights out and away we go. Sid gets a drive-through for jumping the start. But look at the start that Hudson Poole got, just pulled away. But I think he got a drive-through for jumping the start as well. So 2 drivers jumping the start, running P1, P2. Behind them, Johan settled in the 3rd. Big Mama Frank moves up to P4. Gerald Elder moves down to P5 as we work our way through the S's for the first time.
That is going to be tough for Hudson to come back from a drive-through this early. I mean, he's got to now run the whole race, and he's about equal pace with Johannes. Looks like maybe a little bit of incident down back in the back, but wow, 2 of the top 3 starters with drive-through penalties.
Yeah, I got a little antsy on the start there. This looked like the synchronization took a minute to go ahead and start, so maybe they're a little antsy on the button. But that's definitely going to cost them. And hopefully, you serve that drive-through quick and get back with a safety car later in the race. But man,
yeah, that's tough. And I wonder if we had no safety cars in D3, BBJ. So I wonder if they're going to try to bank on a safety car, but now they have to serve that within what, 5 laps?
Yeah, I think they've got to serve that fairly quickly here. But yeah, that's going to be hard to come back from, even with the safety car. You got to still work your way back up to the front. But big mover so far. Dan Gutta down in 11th place, and the McLarens moved up 7 positions. Ethan Patel moved up a couple spots back there as well. But let's see. He's not going to come in this time. It's like Hudson and Sid both stayed out. This time they're going to fight on track a little bit. Here comes Johan Ludwig in the slipstream on Sid down the front straightaway. Nothing happening this time by. No DRS yet, so as Florida gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, that's not going to help the cause there at all either. Alex Duarte pitting as well. Both of them going to fall to the back of the field.
No, that's tough. Big losers so far. Sleek down 8 places to P14, and Alex Duarte, as just mentioned, is down 5 as he's in the pits. And Johannes is hot on Sid right now. We'll see if he tries to make a move. Not a lot of opportunities to pass. Cut that corner a little bit.
Yeah, you look at the gap that Poole has pulled already. 2.5 seconds. I feel like maybe Sid may be holding up Ludwig here a little bit. But that may be part of the strategy, I guess. I don't know, because, you know, Sid's going to have to pit, so is Poole. I guess you would, I don't know. I mean, go ahead and build the gap out while you can and then do the drive-through.
I think that's a big brain move. And so Hudson's a reserve, right? So he hasn't raced with these guys as much as they've really raced with each other. But he's got to know that Johannes has more pace than Sid typically, right? So if his goal is to build that gap as much as possible, you know, maybe he'll hold off until Johannes passes Sid and then dive in if it's within the 5 laps.
See if they're going to pit this time by. Looks like no, they're both going to stay out. You know, I guess the other strategy, too, the longer you can run this out before you make that pit stop, the more likely this field's going to be spread out behind you when you do rejoin later, so you're not coming into a pack of cars. So, I don't know. It's easy for us to sit here and think about that watching this race. When you're in the car trying to turn laps at the same time, it's a whole other challenge. So,
yeah, he's got to do it on the fly.
But yeah, there's nothing really holding him up right now. So you run as many laps as you can in clean air, and then come in, run your drive-through later. So Hudson continuing to pull the gap though, up to 3 seconds now over Sid, and yeah, Ludwig just can't seem to get around. It's what we're talking about in qualifying though, Buffalo. I mean, it's hard to overtake here. It really is.
Yeah, it is. There's just not a lot of opportunities to do so. Thinking about going on the outside of that hairpin, does he get a better exit than Sid here? No, not particularly. He might have to burn a little bit of ERS if he wants to do that.
He's gonna have DRS down the front straightaway here. But I think I'm getting reports that you have to serve that drive-through within 3 laps. So if that's the case, they're gonna have to pit this time by. which is going to give Ludwig the clean air down the front straightaway, but also the DRS because he's going to pass him in the detection zone anyway.
Yeah. Coming into the Casio triangle right on Sid, cutting that chicane really nicely. Those pylons don't last more than one lap here in a race. Sid goes in to serve his, follows Hudson too. So I wonder if they were just going to follow each other. I wonder if Sid was going to do whatever Hudson did.
Yeah, let's see where they rejoin, how far down they're going to fall here. That's such bad luck. I mean, you know, you try to time it just right. I'm sure Sid reacted because Hudson, you know, reacted in front of him. Big Mama Frank out of the session. Safety car looks to be coming out of turn 2. Yeah, he's parked on the right side of the track there.
Yeah, well, just about to hop in with him. He looked like he might have been trying to put some pressure on Garrett Elder, but he wasn't. He did not succeed, and so Big Mama Frank, our first retiree, and the first safety car of the weekend, really, for ZRL.
That's pretty good numbers there. But so let's talk about strategy for a second. Hudson Poole rejoined in 12th. Sid rejoined down in 15th. Is there any value being that far down the grid? You're not going to lose that many more places if you pit. Is there any strategy in go ahead and pitting early, putting on a set of medium tires, and then try to stretch it out if there's more safety cars? Or is it too early to talk that?
It may be too early, PJ. You're talking about putting 23 laps on a set of mediums. It might be a stretch. It might be tough. Kind of unfortunate timing. Although they can't serve the drive-through on a safety car anyway, right? So it really doesn't. You know, it's not like their luck really changed there.
Yeah, they've already served the drive-through. I think so they've done that, but it's just a matter now of, you know, you're running soft tires. You're gonna have to pit in the next 7-8 laps anyway. I don't know. I mean, it maybe we're thinking about putting a set of medium tires on, and then later in the race, you know, maybe try to throw a set of softs on and make a run. There's a late safety car or something. So yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, I think as far as lost time, we see a bunch of people come in now. Spanini, Beamer, Mr. Sandunga, Josh Barnsley in, Sleek is in. So they will go for the early tire change.
So, yep, split strategy here in the back, too. Hudson Poole did not pit. He moves up to P7 through the shuffle, but Sid did pit. So Sid's coming in. He's going to probably put a set of mediums or maybe even hards on. Let's see what he does here. It's going to be medium tires for nope, correction. It's actually hard tires. So Sid going to the hard tire. He's going to try to run as long as he can on those, yeah. But, yeah, Hudson Poole did not pit at all, so he moves him back up to P7 after the penalty.
I think that actually works out pretty well for Hudson because it's a lot easier to move up 6 places after safety car consolidation than moving in from the back. So maybe that's what Sid was thinking. He was like, look, I'm already 4 places behind Hudson right after the drive-through, and then the safety car hit. Maybe he's like, all right, well, if I can pit now, save some time, get on the hards and go to the end, then maybe he has a shot.
I don't know, man. Hard tires are I've yet to see a track where hard tires actually work. I don't know. I don't know.
It's not good here.
What's that?
It's not good here. I feel like you need so much control here at Suzuka, PBJ. I mean, especially those curbs on the S's, man, are like ice. And, you know, just, I mean, with a little bit of more understeer with the hard tires, it could be dangerous. But Sid is a really talented driver, so if anyone can manage it.
If anybody can make it work, he's the guy to do it. But the loss of grip is substantial, to say the least. So we'll see how he does. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the race. Back up front, let's do it through our top 3 here. I mean, Johan Ludwig, benefactor of the drive-throughs, running P1 there. Got Sid out of the way through the penalty and inherited the lead. Garrett Elder running a nice clean P2. He's made the position over Big Mama Frank when Big Mama Frank had the incident. NVA running P3. Dan Gutta moving up a lot of positions after the great start, and then, you know, making up more positions with the pit stops. He's up to P4 now. Ethan Patel is up to P5.
There he is.
So starting P15 up to P5, but of course all 5 of those drivers running soft tires. They will have to pit in the next 6, 7, 8 laps or so, trying to save them best they can here into the safety car. But yeah, this is gonna be fun to watch.
It only takes one of these curveballs, right, to just change the entire complexion of this race, right? We thought it would take a while for Ethan Patel to be relevant up front and try to help Johannes, but look, here we are. They're all on the same tires, and Ethan Patel probably has more pace than Dan Guda and NVA, and he could be up helping Johannes within 2-3 laps.
And I feel like that's one of the nastiest curveballs you can get to as a safety car on lap 4.
Yeah.
You know, it's so
Yeah.
early in the race because if you do pit, it changes your entire strategy, and it's usually not early enough to put on another set of tires to go to the end unless it's the hards. So, yeah, that changes the whole race up. It's going to make everybody kind of wonder what they're going to do here. We got about 3 or 4 different strategies looking at the tire mixes right now. You got the guys on softs that started there. You got the guys on mediums that started there. Both of them still probably going for a one stop. But then you got, 7, 8 cars on fresh tires here.
Yeah.
Who probably will have to stop again too, but they're going to be switching to the soft tires at the end and have a great run there. Great chance at the race.
Yeah, Sid the only one on hard so far. Something interesting too, Alex must have switched to softs just a couple laps before the safety car, so kind of unfortunate timing there for him. And Florida is on fresh softs, so I don't know if he started on them. I mean, he's obviously got to commit to the 2-stop now, so I wonder what he started on, because if it was the mediums, then he really didn't get a lot of mileage out of those.
Yeah, of course, we don't have telemetry to go back and look, but I believe Florida was one of the drivers that started on medium tires,
Yeah.
so he may have. But yeah, switching to softs right now, you're going to have to pit again. So
Yeah,
it's like we
interesting
might get
choice.
safety car's coming in. It's a late call in, so they're going to go now. They didn't have a chance to warm their tires up. This is going to be exciting to watch. Let's see. With about 10-second warning, we are green flag racing as Johan. We got a collision in the
looks
back.
like there's action
Nux
in the
and
back.
Spunini come together and get a penalty there. Johan trying to weave his tires and get some temperature in them on the straightaway. Looks like everybody's going to hold station here at the start. Listen to the top 5 or 6. Cole Cummings get past Nux. He's going to move up to P8.
Tough battle here, tough battle. Nux hanging in really strong through turn 1. I thought she had the pace to maybe make it stick, but Cole too much through the S's. Let's hop on with NVA real quick. Somebody who's had a little bit of down luck in the last few races. A couple spin outs, a little bit of wing damage here and there, but now he finds himself in P3 with some strategy, and we'll see how long he can keep pace with Garrett Elder.
Hudson Poole made it around Drip Israel there, and Drip goes around out of the hairpin, just loses it on his own. He's going to lose a lot more positions now as he spins the car back around and picks back up. Yeah, I was just going to say Hudson Poole's moving his way back up through the field, back up to P6 now.
Yeah, Drip finds his way in P16 on the 6-lap-old mediums.
Hudson setting up Ethan Patel here, heading into 130R. Getting really close heading into the chicane.
Yeah.
Of course, no DRS just yet. He may have to do it the old-fashioned way and use slipstream, but of course Ethan's getting slipstream from Dan Guda as well.
Little train foreman.
It's like nothing going to happen this time by. Yeah, they're going to have to keep running around single file here, but I'm just the speed difference between Poole and Ethan here. Of course, they're both on used soft tires, but you see how much, just look how close Hudson can pull up on Ethan. I mean, just through the center of the corner, which is where your speed is. Cole Cummings has gone around. Cole Cummings in the Alpha Tauri is, looks like he lost it through the S's here. He's going to drop all the way down to P16.
Oof. Hot
Very
tires
unfortunate
too.
for him.
Hot tires still have to go a little bit more conservative here. Into 8 and 9. Cut that corner nice. Try to work his way back up the field. Meanwhile, Nux has lost a couple paces to Beamer. Spunini putting pressure on too. She had lost a pace to Cole Cummins before he spun out. A little bit of a slow exit there. Spunini going to use some ERS, see if he can keep tabs with her, but she might be using some as well.
Back up front, Ludwig has pulled out a 1.6 second gap over Garrett Elder for second place, clearing the DRS zone. NVA's cleared it over Garrett Elder as Ethan Patel gets a bad exit out of the chicane. It's Hudson Poole and Ethan Patel side by side down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Who's going to win this battle?
Oh,
they're wheel to wheel. Ethan's holding on around the outside. Looks like Hudson's going to make the move stick. Great move by Hudson Poole there.
Great clean racing there, side by side, almost trading paint. That was fantastic action through turn 1.
Yeah, and those with no DRS as well. Looks like Ethan had a bad exit out of the chicane, just got a little bit of wheel spin, and yeah, great drivers capitalize on that, and that's what Hudson Poole did right there. Because now the next driver in his crosshairs is going to be Dan Gutta in the McLaren. And Dan Gutta runs wide in the hairpin. Hudson sticks it on the inside. Doesn't quite have the traction to make it stick. Dan Gutta gets a good exit with that wider line through the hairpin.
Yeah, NVA doesn't have the DRS on Garrett Elder to try to help him keep pace. So Dan and Hudson are going to be hot on his butt for quite a while till they make the move.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really tight in the turn 1 here. If these drivers stay single file, they're both going to be running up on on NVA super quick.
Now, while we were chatting about that, Sid has quietly made it up already to P11 on his fresh, hard tires. So the pace is already there for him through the midfield, right? So he's working his way up, and he won't have to stop.
A little bit of contact there between Hudson Poole and Dan Gutta and the McLaren going through the chicane may have damaged Hudson Poole's front wing a little bit. Looks like he's still got the front grip. He's looking on the inside there. Sorry, I know you're trying to track other battles on the track there, Buffalo, but I'm watching this one. This is good racing right here.
Yeah, we're getting spoiled because usually Hudson pulls away in the first part of the race, but we get to watch him make some moves towards the front of the field and get past these guys, and he's fantastic.
Yeah, every little mistake. Look at that exit he gets out of the second Degna there. He's going to try to look up the inside here, maybe stick it under. He's not quite there. Dan Gutta runs wide again. Who's going to have the traction this time? It's going to be the McLaren. It's so hard to put the power down coming on the tight corner like that. When you run wide, it does give you a little more power on the exit. We see that in real F1 sometimes. Some of those drivers take the wider line there intentionally, just get more power on the exit.
Yeah, NVA's around. Oh, damage.
That's going to give Hudson Poole the position. Looks like the McLaren may have taken some front wing damage there, and it did.
Tough luck for Dan.
Wow.
Definitely a racing incident, right? NVA didn't mean to spin there, but tough luck for Dan. Wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, Ethan Patel's going to sneak by there. Dan's going to have to pit.
Ooh. So
That's
PBJ
shake things
here.
Up a little bit.
Yeah, this is here.
Race leader in the pits, by the way. Sorry, Buffalo. Race leader in the pits. Johan's come in. Looks like Nux has come in as well. Mr. Sangutta staying out. So race leaders come into the pits. He's going to put on the medium tires on lap number 11. That's what we said, but it's the first of the runners. You figure with the safety car, maybe could have stretched that out a little bit longer. It's kind of surprising. Maybe going for the undercut here, but now he's in traffic.
Maybe, yeah. I think you can make 16 laps on medium here, which is why I was just going to say to watch Dan Gutta in that if he goes on mediums, he may be able to make it to the end. But he went on the hards. And speaking of hards, Sid quietly again in P7 behind his teammate in the Alfa Romeo, Villa Ferrari power unit, and charging up the field. So
making those hard tires work, man. That's what you got to do. That's the mission he was given. That's what he's doing. So Garrett Elder, your new race leader, 2.5 seconds behind him is Hudson Poole. Ethan Patel in the Alpine worked his way up to P3. Those three drivers will have to pit here very soon, and judging where Ludwig came out down in P14, they're going to drop quite a bit down the order here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. A lot of guys in the midfield have to pit too, so we'll see if their strategy kind of aligns. But yeah, Johannes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Pitting early for Ludwig's. He had clean air in front of him. Now he's in traffic. I don't know if that undercut's going to be very successful, but he did have a gap. I'm curious to see where he's going to come out after other drivers like Hudson and really were Hudson and Garrett and Ethan Patel, because those drivers are all kind of running within 2 or 3 seconds of each other here. We'll see if
Yeah.
that undercut worked or not.
I have to say, though, I have seen Johannes keep incredible pace on incredibly old tires before, and I think he can certainly make this stick. We'll see. He'll look to pass Drip and Sleek here in the next lap or two.
And meanwhile, though, Hudson Poole closing the gap on P1. He's within 2 seconds now, but he's got clean air, and Ludwig does not. So fresh tire advantage to Ludwig, but that dirty air in traffic is going to slow him down a little bit. As Ludwig finally makes it past Drip Israel down there and moves up to P12.
Yeah, they won't double stack, so we'll see. One of them is probably coming in this lap. Beamer trying desperately to stay within DRS range of Ethan Patel. Used a lot of ERS to make that so, and he's definitely hit the indicator line. So he'll have DRS and Ethan Patel, who goes into the pits himself.
Yep, Red Bull stayed out. Alpine comes in. Ethan Patel's coming in. He's probably going to put a set of medium tires on. Let's see where he comes out relative to Johan here. I mean, he was
Probably
behind going
10th.
in, but as Johan overtakes on track there, it's going to be quite a substantial gap here.
Yeah, that was a lot.
So maybe the undercut was a little more successful than I was giving him credit for there.
It could have been. And this pit isn't terribly bad in terms of losing time on track, right? I mean, you think, we opened with Silverstone, right, this season, and that pit is, you lose 45 seconds, right, for a stop there, so a two-stop just doesn't make sense. But here, it's straight, it's about as quick as you can get, so...
Yeah, you're in and out pretty quick here.
Yeah.
As I'm watching, wow, Josh Barnsley just had a big moment. I was watching Josh Barnsley in the Alfa Romeo under threat from Nux here. Ran really wide in the hairpin, saved the car. Actually, a really great save there. As his Alfa Romeos here are battling each other. We got a yellow in sector 1.
Looks like a Haas went around. NVA.
Oh no, NVA continues to struggle after that early spin here.
Yeah, shame. It goes a little bit wide in the gravel. Ooh, I wonder, maybe he got damaged or something? That was a little tough for him to make that turn.
It's front wing damage.
Yeah.
We got
It
another
looks like
yellow
the
in
other
front of him.
Haas is around.
I think the other Haas had issue, yeah.
Ah.
Well, Gunter's not going to be happy at these guys here.
No, he's not. Gunter can't wait for the VF22. Very
Which
fast.
The car looks really cool, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
it does.
first Red Bull in. It's going to be Hudson Poole. He's going to switch to the medium tires. Johan's going to take the position on him. So I think the undercut did work here. Johan's pulled out quite a good gap between himself and Hudson Poole here. They're about just kind of, let's say 8 or 9 seconds between each other here. So Ludwig back up to 8th place. So that would expect now Garrett Elder and the other Red Bull to come in this time by.
Yeah, he's probably got to, and then we may be done with pit stops except for Drip in P10. We'll probably now, if he started on mediums, his NBA gets a 5-second for speeding in a pit lane. So
It's rubbing
rough.
salt in the wound here.
Yeah, rough for him so far. Dan Gouda in P14 has not been able to get the hards to have the pace that Sid has been able to get. And he might be stuck down there for a while because you got 3 guys in front of him with fresh mediums. So it might be tough for him to gain some places here.
Nice little battle here for 6th place. Josh Barnsley, Mr. Sanguda. Mr. Sanguda in that Mercedes on fresher. Nope, actually they're both on the same set of medium tires here. Take that back. Nux has a big moment coming out of the chicane in front of him. So now all 3 of these drivers on top of each other here.
Going into turn 1, yeah.
ERS for the second and 2. Let's see if Barnsley can do anything on Nux. He's going to send it on the inside. He, a little bit cautious there, and I think it caught Sanguda out a little bit. Sanguda's going to try to make the move past on Nux as well. Sticking the nose on the outside, thinks better of it into the S's. That was almost a plane crash going into turn 1, but all 3 of those drivers did a great job there, not running over each other. Great reactions by Mr. Sanguda right there.
That was good, clean racing there. All 3 of them going really hard at each other. And Nux and Josh are in the chat jawing at each other right now. I know there's a lot of team chat going on in Ferrari. Meanwhile, Garrett Elder came out right behind Hudson Pool. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. There we go. Right, and so I wonder about a second and a half. So we may see Hudson pull away here. But for a second, it looked like they may be able to tag team it up the field together. But they'll be charging here in due time.
Yeah, so the undercut definitely successful for Ludwig there. He's up to P7, got himself about 6 seconds between himself and Hudson Pool, Garrett Elder. Those drivers are good till the end of the race. Of course, Hudson and Garrett are both going to be on newer tires. But I'm watching this battle, Sangutta and Nux here. They're going to go side by side through 130R. Mercedes on the inside. Nux backs out of it. Going to look another gap here into the chicane. Not quite there. It looks like Nux is really struggling on those medium tires.
Yeah.
See her sliding around quite a bit. Johan Ludwig just lost a place to Drip. I think Ludwig just had a moment in the chicane, just lost some time. Hudson Pool is all over the back of Ludwig here.
That we don't see every day. He lost 9 seconds in whatever moment that we have just briefly missed. And I hope he doesn't have any damage there, but Hudson is right on his butt with fresher tires. And you don't see that every day. Yeah.
Trying to see if Ludwig has any damage. I don't see any. He's really slow. Well, relatively slow through the chicane.
Yeah, he is holding up Hudson very much.
And they're side by side. Hudson's going to take the position. I don't know if that's just hot tires or if there's actually damage there. I don't see any damage on the car.
It looked like he made it through 9 okay. We'll see if the hairpin is impacted. As someone is off, Nux is off in the hairpin.
Nux struggling on those tires. They finally just gave out on her.
1 lap too far on it. She'll come in, but she should be able to make the rest of the 11 on softs. See how much time Johannes loses here to Hudson.
I don't know. It looks slow through the left-handers.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's damage on that car or not, but unfortunately we missed the incident. I would have thought if he had an incident before the pit entry, so if he had damage, you figure he would have gone to the pits right away and put those soft tires on and finished the race out. As Hudson Pool is now all over the back of Drip Israel. Let's see if Ludwig stays out. Hudson's going to try to make a move on Drip in the turn 1 here.
Should have it. Goes on the inside.
Yeah, Drip's not going to make that fight any worse than it has to be. That's not his race right now.
Does make sense.
He's going to have to make his last stop here any lap now. As Nux is finally in the pits, she'll put on a set of soft tires. Finish this race out.
Tough luck. She was looking very strong in her first D2 race. To maybe
Drip goes around right in front of Ludwig. And NVA is retired. Just, go ahead and just unplugged himself there and called it a day. How about Sid up in P3 on the hard tires, and he does not have to pit again?
No, Sid's in a great position here because either Beamer and Spanini pit and they're further down, or they don't, and that tire wear starts to affect them, and he'll be able to make up some space.
So let's talk about that for a second, Buffalo, because you're right. I mean, Sid does not have to pit again. The next car on track he's racing for a theoretical race win at this point would be Hudson Pool down in P7, and right now there's a 12-second gap between them with 10 laps to go.
Right. So can he make up a little bit over a second a lap, right, with the medium tire, the fresh mediums over the hards? Maybe. As Spanini goes around.
Pass.
Spanini went around in turn 1.
Ludwig in the pits too.
Maybe Ludwig did have damage then. But now he's going to come out on softs.
It doesn't look like it's going to be 4 for 4 for Ludwig unless we get a late safety car here. Yeah, changing the front wing. There was damage on that car. And he's out and away on soft tires. So Ludwig's got some work to do to make it 4 for 4. But yeah, just to kind of go back on that on Hudson Pool versus Sid here. The gap now is 12 seconds between those two drivers. As Sid is all over the back of Beamer NG all of a sudden, our new race leader. So at this point, I mean, if you're Sid, do you just take the DRS tow for a while, or do you go for the
Yeah,
overtake
you could.
here?
I mean, anything just to kind of build your time, right? If you can maybe hold off on the overtake without making yourself that slow. Yeah, because it's all about building that gap to Hudson, right? Who's already closed in half a second since we last talked about it to Sleek. So he's at 1.8 right now. I was at about 2.3. And he will come charging.
All right, so we've got 8 laps to go. Actually, I guess it would be 9 laps to go the way the timing's done. So 9 laps to go. The gap between Sid and Hudson, you're right, it's about 11 seconds now. So the gap is coming down, but I don't know if it's coming down fast enough. How about, I'm not going to say anything yet. I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and then we'll see how this plays out. Make predictions, and me and Revis make predictions back in the day, and they always were catastrophic for the drivers involved. So
we don't want to get ourselves in trouble.
Yeah.
We don't want to get in trouble in the booth. The field is starting to spread here, though. Not a lot of close battles. I think Ethan Patel is starting to get a little bit close to Alex here. He'll try to make a move soon. But some big gaps ahead, right? A big gap between Garrett Elder and Josh Barnsley in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, although you see that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, you see that when you have a long gap between after a safety car like that, the field will spread itself out as everybody kind of finds their place in the field. Tightest race on track right now. Looks like it's the race for the lead, but we are expecting Beamer NG to have to come in and pit here.
Yeah, and
soon.
Don't look now, but that gap before Sleek is down to almost half a second.
Yep, so now Hudson's going to get the DRS from Sleek. Sid's going to have DRS also from Beamer NG up here up front. So let's see if Hudson can make a move on Sleek here. Sid's not making any moves on Beamer NG up front. He's just going to sit station here behind him. You got to think Poole's going to make the move on Sleek here.
He does.
As Spunini comes into the pits, gets off those
Hudson has a moment. He spun out in turn 1. He's in the gravel right after he made the move on Sleek. And so he'll have hot tires. He comes back out in P6 right behind his teammate Garrett Elder, ahead of Alex. Wow.
Just overcooked it through turn 1 and 2 right there, and just had a little bit of a tank slapper and just lost the car. Thankfully, there's a lot of runoff there. Didn't hit anything. So Hudson Poole now got a race on his hands to get back up to the front. And I guess the next car going after our leader on track would be
Garrett Elder.
Garrett Elder after the pit stop cycle here, unless Beamer NG and Mr. Sanguda and Sleek can try to stretch those tires out.
Yeah,
I don't know. You got to do 20 laps on those tires. Might be kind of a tall feat, but
yeah, that is a tall feat. But then they have to make a decision, right? Because it's like every lap you wait, you have less time to make up on the fresher tires.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, less time to make a decision in the end.
Yeah.
Maybe try to hope for a safety car or something, but I don't know, man. This
So
race is looking really good right now for Sid on the hard tires, and I can't wait to talk to him after the race to figure out how this worked out.
If I'm engineering for Beamer, this is, I look at, if he can keep pace with Sandunga and Sleek, if they want to stay out, right? He may be looking to finish just ahead of Alex, right? So he could be in a fight for a podium if he can stay in front of all the other 15-lap medium guys behind Hudson, Garrett, and Sid. Oh, they would be just out of a podium. Wouldn't that be P4, right, if we're doing math?
Well, yeah, and even if you pit, it's what, 20, 25 seconds to pit, something like that? So, I mean, you're automatically down in P6 or P7 if you pit.
Yeah.
So, why not stretch them out? Go ahead, just try to run those tires till they blow up, and just go for the podium, go for the win. Because right now he's doing it with 7 laps to go.
Yeah, he's doing it.
He's doing it.
Sid hasn't been able to really close the gap from the 7/10 that it's been at for a little while. So Hudson already passed Garrett Elder.
Gap now 14 seconds to the leader for Hudson Poole.
So he'll be closing that gap to Sleek.
Yeah, he's got to do 2 seconds a lap at this point, though. I don't know if he's going to get there. The race is looking really good right now for Sid.
Really is. Looks like we're going to get a lot of action here. Josh Barnsley on fresh softs down at the bottom, too.
I I've got to go back. I wish we had some statisticians in the trailer outside the track because I don't know if we've ever had, at least I haven't seen it in my time here, a driver actually win a race on hard tires. Like legit strategy-wise, run the race to the end on hard tires. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that may be a first.
He came really close there in turn 1, gap up to a 10th as they go through the S's and get stretched out a little bit. But if Sid can get those tires to stick a little bit better than Beamer's.
6 laps to go.
Ethan Patel looking to make a move on Alex. Tough defense there out of turn 1. Man, we talked up all the Alpines in the intro, and here they are in P8 and P10.
Man, it's hard. It's hard to do it every single week.
It is.
It's super hard to do it.
Yeah. Well, something we missed while watching the action up front. It looks like Nux did DNF. So 5 DNFs so far. And, you know, I was anticipating those type of numbers for D3, to be honest, with those slippery curves and the S's and everything like that, but not so. Here in D2, we've seen
Ludwig has a moment. Ludwig had another moment and lost 2 positions there. Yeah, hot tires, off the track again, yeah.
He could be getting frustrated, PBJ.
Well, I mean, you know, you got it's a motor race, right? You got to go all the way to the end, and but you never know. I mean, with 5 laps to go here, we still might get a safety car. You never know. We're still kind of in that window where anything can happen.
Yeah, we're still in the window, and Beamer is still holding off Sid on his old tires. Sid just can't get enough to get by him.
No, you're right. I mean, at this point, you got to run them to the end. I mean, there's no point in pitting out for anybody in the top 4, actually.
No,
I mean,
the decision is made.
Yeah, not just Beamer, but Mr. Sanduka and Sleek. I mean, how about these 2 drivers still running up from P3 to P4? Hudson Poole closing the gap, though, up on Sleek.
He is. He's closed that by about 2 seconds. Ethan Patel just passed Alex for P8, but he's got plenty of a gap in front of him for Garrett Elder, so it may look like P7 is the best that the Alpines can do today as it currently stands. But Sid having trouble getting past Beamer. We'll see if he can get a good exit out of Spoon, but not particularly better from Beamer. Maybe a little bit.
You try to get whatever slipstream you can down this straightaway and through 130R and into the Casino Triangle. Really try to set it up for turn 1, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah, well, a little bit in the dirt there for Beamer on the turn 18.
Yeah, they're using all the road.
Yep.
All right, looks like Sid's going to make a move here. He's on the battery. He's got the DRS. I don't know if he's going to get there. He's going to peek it up the inside. He's going to back out of it.
I don't think he wanted it, PBJ. I think he wanted to keep DRS. He conserved that battery. He turned it off.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But so does Beamer. I mean, looking at the Beamer's battery in front, they're running about the same levels of ERS at this point.
So and that's what we want. We want it to be about that last turn exit, right? Who does it the best to get away quick?
You got to think those medium tires, though, are starting to scream because, I mean, 18 laps. Let's say you had 2 or 3 of them behind the safety car, but you're right at that window where those things start to really struggle, especially in some of these like low grip corners or low air. What am I trying to say? Low downforce corners like the hairpin and places like that. But I mean, how about Beamer though? Hold him off here. Just driving really well. Man,
these top tier guys just know how to manage tires and make it work, right? I mean, it's just, we say it every time. You know, in other races when Johannes has been up there on, 20 lap old mediums and we're like, there's no way he can make it stick. And he does.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Sid this time is really close.
Yeah, this is
closer
different
than he was the last lap here. Let's see if he gets on the battery here. Yep, he's on the battery.
He's gonna do it.
So is Beamer, though. Beamer's on. They're both dumping the ERS down the front straightaway, side by side. In the turn 1 we go. Looks like Sid's going to make the move around the outside into turn 1 and make that move stick. New race leader, Sid in the Ferrari. Beamer's not done, though. Beamer's hanging right with him here.
He is, and he's still got plenty of battery himself. He's sitting at 68. And we'll see through the S's. 2 laps to go
here.
3 laps, sorry, right?
Yeah, the timing's kind of weird on that. But yeah, 3 laps to go. This is still anybody's race. I mean, I'm not convinced that Sid is that much faster than Beamer right now.
No, a lot of battles going on here. We saw Spanini just pass Ethan Patel for P7. Hudson has closed up that. There he is to Sleek. So in 4 laps, he's made up 4.5 seconds. And he's trying to get to P4. But I want to point out, too, someone a little underrated today. We haven't talked about Mr. Sandunga too much. But he's sitting in P3, managing those medium tires just as well as Beamer.
Absolutely is. Mr. Sangutta just doing a great job up in P3. Hanging with these guys. And Hudson Poole catching Sleek here as well. We got battles all over the place here.
Yeah.
Here comes Beamer. Beamer's going to have DRS. I think we're going to have another battle down turn 1 here.
Wow.
Ferrari versus Williams. Both of the drivers dumping their ERS. Here we go. Beamer's going to try it around the outside again. Runs a little bit wide. Those medium tires just don't give him the grip that he needs. Couldn't quite make it stick, but he's got 2 laps more to do it here.
Wow. And Hudson made the move on Sleek. So he's sitting in P4. He might not have enough time to make up 2 seconds to Mr. Sandunga. We'll see.
And he picked up a penalty too, Buffalo. He picked up a 3-second penalty for off track, so I don't think it's going to matter unless Mr. Sangutta has an off track or something on those old medium tires.
Wow, good for him.
Beamer's hanging right on the back of Sid here. This is going to be a battle in the turn 1 again. Lost a little bit of traction there coming out of the hairpin, though. Sid's got a great exit. That may have pulled the gap out far enough where Beamer might not be able to get back to him. You can see those medium tires just struggling.
Yeah, last lap, though, Beamer got such a good exit out of Spoon and was able to really come up towards the butt of Sid, right up on him into the chicane.
Beamer's dumping his battery right now down the back straightaway. Sid's got a full battery, or got half a battery anyway, heading up to the front, down the front straightaway here. Here we go. Final lap. We're getting ready to start the last lap of the race. It's going to be Beamer trying to chase down Mr. Sangutta. I think the gap's big enough now. He's not going to get there. He's got the DRS. He's got the ERS. He's not there. Wow. Sid's going to hold it.
Sid's got more battery right now.
The Ferrari's in a really good spot here. Sid trying to pick up his first win of the season. Here we go.
And Hudson is right on the back of Mr. Sandunga now. It won't matter, so I don't know how much he's going to push. Really, I think what matters most to Hudson, is the gap between him and Sleek to see if he can get that to 3 seconds, but that might be a tall order. Let's go back to the fight for the lead in the hairpin. Beamer right up on the butt of Sid, 3/10 behind.
Oh, he's there. He's been there the whole time on the lap. He wasn't there on the straightaway, but he's there now. He's trying to dump the battery again. He's going to have to do this. He's going to have to do this somehow. He's got to get that Williams around that Ferrari. He's right there.
Great run through Spoon on old mediums for Beamer, making that stick. He's going to dump battery here on the straight.
He's not dumping all of it. There he goes. Now he's back on it. He's maybe trying to save it for the chicane. Here he comes in the slipstream, trying to head a chicane. He's going to be a late break lunge. He's not going to do it. He's not quite close enough. A little bit of contact there. It's not going to matter, though. It's Sid. He was 3rd in Silverstone, 2nd at Imola. But it's Sid who takes the win at Suzuka, first win of the season. Beamer and G in the Williams get 2nd place. Mr. Sangutta holds off for 3rd. What a great finish for these drivers.
He finally did it. Sid has been so close to the top spots so many times, and they've just seen Hudson pull away and Johannes pull away. And all it takes is, look, a safety car, a couple little incidents here and there, and there he is. He made the hard tires work on Suzuka, and Sid with his first win of the season. What a drive.
What a race, man. That was awesome. Yeah, these guys put on a great show. I mean, huge props to Beamer, Mr. Sanguda, and Sleek running those medium tires out till the end, committing to the strategy, sticking with it. What a race.
Outstanding job. I mean, just putting on a clinic of tire management. And what a cool podium today, huh? What a cool podium.
Yeah, you know, a little bit, you know, incident there, which is Hudson and Ludwig both having their moments. Couldn't quite deliver. Driver of the day, Beeman G. Yeah, I got to give it to Sid as well, though. Last to first challenge with the, you know, first lap drive-through or first lap jump start. Let's see if we can talk to some of these guys.
Yeah, you want to pull some of these guys in the waiting room, PBJ? Let's see what they have.
Absolutely, I do.
2 Indians on the podium, too, so a little bit of pride there. I know they chat about that a lot. Look at that. First win of the season for Sid.
Let's see if we can grab some of these guys. Let's grab our, here we go. Let's grab our third place finisher, Mr. Sanguda in the Mercedes, bringing home the third place of the podiums. Welcome to the podiums at Suzuka, Mr. Sanguda.
Thank you, PB. Man, hectic race. I mean, you know, quali, I think I could have gone a bit more faster, but a couple of mistakes here and there. But then, no, I mean, in the race, I mean, first, I want to thank, you know, Siggy and Big Mama Frank. You know, they kept me cool during the entire race, and so yeah.
You kind of had a quiet race, kind of just always hanging around, kind of slowly working your way back up toward the front there. Took the early pit stop with the safety car to get on the medium tires. I mean, were you planning on running those all the way to the end, or was that kind of a, you know, well, here we are, let's go ahead and finish this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure if they were gonna last the whole race. I mean, I was pretty sure I was gonna get, you know, massive moments towards the end because I knew my rears would be gone, but no, I mean, yeah, the plan was to hang out, to stay out as long as we could and see what was the pace around ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah, you made it work, brother. You got all the way to the end, got yourself a podium because of it. Congratulations. And
Thank you very
great
much.
job, man. Great job.
All right. Thank you also to you guys for broadcasting. You know, always appreciate it.
Yeah,
So,
man. Yeah. Have a good night, brother.
You too, guys. Take care.
All
What
right,
a drive.
Let's get Beamer in here. Beamer MW, welcome to the podium at Suzuka, brother.
Feels good, feels good.
And we were just talking to Mr. Sanguda, who had a similar strategy. You know, you took the early pit stop with the safety car. Were you planning on running those medium tires all the way to the end?
Yeah, I was debating whether I should do hards or mediums, and I thought that the mediums would be at like 50% by the end, but they're actually at 65, so... I mean, they still went to the end, though.
Yeah, well, we were watching you and Sid. You know, Sid was on the hard tire, and we were trying to figure out if he was actually faster than you or not. But you proved that he wasn't, because as soon as he got by you there, you guys put on a little battle over the last 2 or 3 laps of the race. It was so exciting to watch. You know, he went around the outside through turn 1. You tried to go around the outside turn 1. Unfortunately, it didn't stick on you. But man, what was that like from your point of view?
I was really, like, shaking, because I knew that Spinini and I collided there, and I was on the outside, so I was being really cautious. So thankfully we didn't collide.
Yeah, but you still, you know, good thing you did. You brought it home P2. Congratulations, man. Great race.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice job, Beamer. Well done.
Thanks.
All right, let's bring Sid in here. Man of the hour. Sid, welcome to the winner's circle, top step of the podium, brother.
Thanks, man. First win of this season feels great.
Sid,
Yeah, man,
long time coming, man. I know you've been wanting this one for a while. How good did it feel? You know, once you saw that Hudson was far enough behind and Johannes wasn't going to be a factor, man. You know, how hard were you pushing those tires to get to the end well?
I wasn't really pushing hard. I was just making sure I make no mistakes. That was the mindset here. No warnings, nothing. I was just running a clean race.
Well, let's talk about the one mistake you did make at the start of the race. Something happened there, man. I mean, was it when
Hudson.
Hudson? Yeah, thank you. When Hudson jumped in front of you, did that just make you click as well?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
But then even so, when the first safety car came out, you made the call to go to hard tires. And I'll be perfectly honest, I questioned that call because we've never seen hard tires. As far as I know, we've never seen hard tires work anywhere. But you, sir, pulled them off. You won the race on the hard tires. Proved me wrong. Um, I mean, did you think you were going to win this thing?
No, I didn't. I had only one practice session this whole week, and I tried the hards, and they didn't feel too bad. So I just thought, why not? Because I was in P15 when the safety car came out, so I
Yeah.
didn't really have anything to lose.
Yeah, and then some of the other drivers had incidents, but Hudson and Ludwig both had incidents and did not finish up to the front. And you were there. You just kept your car clean, like you said. You stayed on the track, got to the end, won the race, and you and Beam had a great battle there the last few laps of the race around the outside in turn one. Take us through that overtake.
Yeah, that was kind of like Kimi Raikkonen in 2005. I felt great during that overtake. It was fun.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Congratulations. Welcome to the winner circle. And yeah, first win of the season, man. Good stuff.
Thank you. And I just want to say I want to thank my girlfriend because she's been supporting me this whole time. I was feeling like down because I wasn't getting a win this season, and I really wanted this. So shout
That's
out to
awesome.
my girlfriend.
More to come, Sid. More to come.
Yep, hopefully.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too. See ya.
Well, PBJ, I think that's gonna do it, man. Dude, we had action the entire way today. That was incredible.
Yeah, great race, man. Proving why ZRL is the place to be, and Division 2 is hot right now, man. That's so cool to watch. It was great to be back and watching it with you guys. And Division 1 tomorrow's just got to do a better show, right?
Yeah, hey, Division 1 tomorrow, right? We got the cream of the crop of ZRL, and then I'm sure these guys will start prepping early too for Monaco next week. Have we ever had Monaco in ZRL? It's gonna be it's
We
gonna be
have,
crazy.
and I got some stories about Monaco, but they're not for this broadcast. So Monaco is a great track to run. It's a lot of fun. If you thought overtaking was hard here, wait till you go there, right?
Yeah. So with that, I think we're gonna sign off, and PBJ is gonna share some Monaco stories. So I am Buffalo Trace. PBJ, thank you so much for joining on the broadcast today.
Hey, man, always
And,
a pleasure.
Hey, we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.